gosh. Well, I think we can get into our heavier spoiler questions now about like the intricacies of the plots and stuff, which I know you're a big fan of talking about. So, Nathan, you want to open this one up?
Yeah, sure. With this film, you destroyed several major settings. Titan's Tower, the Watchtower, the Earth itself. Was there any level of pushback from DC when basically just raising the stakes on all of these like symbols of their properties, or was there something that they said no, don't do, or was there something that where they were pushing that you would say, yeah, do this to this kind of location or this situation?
Well, you get a little bit of a play with the end of continuity, and I think actually James Tucker has a tweet out there right now that he's something like, with the end of a property, he's like a bad tenant before an eviction, and he's going to wreck the apartment. And I'm like, well, you did that, right? But the thing is, with kind of our reboot, all of that's there, but it might be there in a different way, or it's not there, or it's changed, you know? So it's like, or we can even keep it the same. So the people in charge of the next kind of iteration of continuity, they'll make those decisions. And here's an interesting fact that you could, since we're in the spoiler section, we actually talked about many different tags for this movie. Everybody's like, it ends so soon, I wanted to see what became of the world, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I think he made the right call with no tag, because we don't want to put anything impinge on the next continuity at all, right? But the tag that I pitched and he kind of liked, and it was in there until like the fourth draft, and then I think it got chopped, was there's debris out after Apocalypse is sucked into the boom tube, right? But it explodes before that, right?
Yeah.
You'll remember John Constantine has a line to Cyborg and goes, download yourself into a mother cube or whatnot. And he goes, it doesn't work that way, genius. Then get out of here, right?
Yeah.
Right. So in the debris field, all of a sudden you see like two things go click together, and another one click, click, click. And then it builds into kind of like a fully cyborg. And he goes, damn, I guess it does work that way.
Oh man, that's funny.
Gosh.
So, but it was like, I don't know. It would be weird to get after that. We had people crying, and then
yeah,
to give them
and then to go for that, yeah.
That last thing, like a big laugh. Like on the one hand, I'm like, maybe it would be cool, but you don't want it to have that sense of finality.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think it's the right call to not have anything on there.
Right.
Gosh. Well, speaking of the ending, how much fun did you have writing Super Trigon? And tangentially, who came up with the idea for the 4-eye heat vision? Because that might be my favorite part of this whole film.
You know what? I'm gonna ascribe that first of all, in the script, he was named Trigon Superman.
Gotcha.
So now you have that bit of knowledge.
All right.
That other people might not. Although Super Trigon is a pretty good name too. But I bet you that was a board artist.
Mm-hmm.
I bet, because they're actually drawing it, right?
Yeah.
And so they're drawing the 4 eyes, and it's like, okay, I think I might have had in the script that they both both do their heat visions or their lasers, and they're at a standstill. But then I just went, and then Superman kicks him in the face or something like that.
Yeah.
There's someone who's drawing that is like, what would be cool is if the second set of eyes would like zoom back and like back dark side. And it's like, that is really cool, but like sometimes I guess it's like in the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where Richard Dreyfuss they're asking him like, how did you know about these little gullies and paths? And it's like, try sculpting. It's better than painting, you know? So it's like when they're drawing it, when they're really looking at the pictures that are going to be on in the show, you get inspiration to do little things like that. And so, yeah, I don't think that was in there. You know, I'm going to give credit there. The animators are fantastic. You know, they're so talented.
Yeah, no, it really shows. It's an honest answer. Nathan?
Yeah, pretty early in the film, most of the league is just wiped out, and then there's a 2-year jump forward. What was the motivation behind this extreme heightening of the stakes from a scripting perspective? Because when I first watched the film, having seen some of the other films, I didn't expect it to be that brutal that quickly. So what was some of the motivation there?
Well, yeah, no one did. And by the way, like I handed in the final draft of this in July of 2018, which is about 10 months before Avengers Endgame came out. So I did not know they were going to do a 5-year. And everybody's like, of course they just copied that, you know? And I'm like, no, we didn't know, you know? But yeah, and I guess we needed to get rid of a bunch of people and immediately to get down a little bit more to a manageable storytelling size. Now, if we would, they should make this into, you know, I would watch the hell out of a season or a 2-season, 10 or 20 episode live action or animated thing of this, where you could have all those battles. But the thing is, most of these are 72 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So James somehow bumped this one up to 90 minutes, the longest one ever of the films in continuity. Might be the longest one ever since they started. I'm not sure. But people are like, oh, that battle in the beginning, why didn't we see that? Or like the battle on it's like, gotta pick. Yeah. There's so many action sequences already, you know, like you just can't do it.
You literally have to pick your battles. I get that.
Yeah, you literally have to pick it up. Very good, Eric.
Gosh, well, speaking of these battles, did you or any of the writing staff feel any reservations about killing off the Teen Titans or Billy Batson, given that they're pretty much children?
No, but Billy doesn't die as a child. He dies as an adult.
A fair point.
Yeah, you know, the Teen Titans, it's like, I wish they had a little bit more. I mean, certainly there's some bad hands dealt, you know, Superboy.
Yeah.
Right, it's like, I was talking about this on the panel where now, if a character doesn't speak, like I put in my, in the writing, I'll put in who's in the background or who's doing it, or James will tell me, put in these people. And I write some action. When they're during the boards, or doing the boards, they'll really figure it out and make it much cooler, right?
Yeah. Like
I'll have these 4 guys are zooming in, right? I think I actually did call on Oa the lanterns that you saw on the ground as corpses. Like I actually called them, and I'm maybe 1 or 2 out of the ones that were flying there. And I always do love Kilowog, but if a character doesn't have lines, you know, like it's probably not gonna.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna end well for them. You know, like if you're in a conference room and you don't speak, that's like wearing a red shirt on Star Trek. You know, you're probably not gonna be around too long for that one. So yeah. But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So a lot of times when you're just talking about corpses or somebody that's going to immediately die, it's the animators or the board artists or James Tucker is just deciding, yeah, put this person in there. right? And so as a fan, when I'm watching it for the first time, I'm like, oh yeah, look at that fan favorite. Oh, he's dead.
So like Blue Beetle in the background. I'm like,
yeah. It's like, oh, Blue Beetle, is he going to do something? No, he's dead.
No, he's not.
Is he going to do something awesome? No, he's dead.
It's a very morbid game of Where's Waldo.
Exactly. So you just like never know. But yeah, I can see people being mad at that. Look, they would love it. But we're always asking all the time about like, oh, let's do a solo Flash movie, or I pitch like dumb things like I want a Plastic Man feature, and like it's like, go away, Ernie. Like no one's making a Plastic Man feature.
Oh, it's great. Gosh, Nathan, we were talking about this after our watch party, because we watched it once the day it came out, and then watched it again to get more of our friends involved in it, and then I watched it again for the digital panel. But Nathan was asking me, is like, how did you guys pick which of the Justice Leaguers to have as like the Cyborgs and the Furies? Was that just a storyboard decision, or did you guys have like, no, we want Mira and we want Hawkman?
That was a James Tucker decision, actually.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was like, from an early draft, they were going to be the Furies.
Oh.
And then at a certain point, he decided, I'm going to put Apocalypse tech on them and make them horrible. So that was like a surprise for me anyway. Maybe some other people knew, but
yeah,
I didn't know that they were going to. Thought they might have an eye thing and something in their head or whatever. Not that like Mira's got a snake body or something. It's just like weird stuff, just unsettling.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter's a spider.
You couldn't have picked more terrifying characters to do that to. Martian Manhunter would be horrifying to run into.
Yeah.
Regardless
right. He's still got his like morphing ability and stuff.
Yeah. He's this arm into a dragon. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, unbeatable. He's almost unbeatable. Boy, talk about not giving yourself an easy way out as far as the animators. Like they were really going for it, because if you're not going to do that. You're just going to do the little eye plug or whatever. Right? You're not going to give them such unique designs, and certainly not pick one that, okay, it doesn't stay the same as it's designed. It morphs and does this other stuff. It's like, that's like putting multiple Swamp Things into your thing, or Poison Ivy, because it's like, now we've got all that to deal with, right? It's like, it doesn't just magically appear. Someone's got to draw it.
Yeah. Gosh, no, that's an incredible point.
It's a lot easier, I would say, to draw a Batman or a Superman silhouette.
Yeah.
It is to do something that's changing.
Every time Martian Manhunter gets thrown into a story, all the cartoonists are like, oh, Jesus.
I could see him fast becoming a non-favorite character.
Yeah, Man's like, no.
If that was part of your work, it's like, oh, I just want to see him with the Justice League around the table,
Just give him the cloak and have him walk. We don't need to make him a dragon or anything. Gosh.
Yeah. No, and then
he loses his shape-shifting, please.
Yeah.
Like, and the writers kind of. And if it was on a show and I wanted to screw with somebody, I'd have the John Jones table talking scene, but while he's at the table, he's making hand puppets, different things out of his hands, and it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, like, why do you not like me?
Oh boy, yeah, that's. I just always think it's so funny that there might be some characters that people desperately want to write and some characters that people desperately want to draw that neither wants the other to be working with.
Oh no, yeah, but well, I won't say everybody, but most people that work on these things are fans.
Yeah.
They're like people that enjoy going to Comic-Con and like sitting in just weird panels. Like I really like this or that. That you would never have guessed. So I know the board artists, they try and go, oh no, can I have that scene? Can I like with Batman Hush? There were sections because it was like a rogues gallery. So it's like, oh, can I please do the Poison Ivy Superman scene? Can I please do the Joker, or the Harley at the opera scene, right? Like I really love Harley. So even when you're making up a original story, it wasn't an arbitrary decision to put in Captain Boomerang because I had seen. I'm a fan too, so I watch even the ones that I don't write, and so I saw Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay, and so Liam McIntyre. I was like, who is Captain Boomerang in this thing? He's like fantastic. And so when I got in this thing, I had a limited, I need to change up some characters and whatever. And one of them that I pitched was, can I put in Captain Boomerang instead of Deadshot? I think Deadshot was in there. And I was like, I always find Deadshot a little like, he's taciturn. He's like Batman-esque for me, but he's like evil, right? Or he's like Slade, right? The Terminator.
Yeah.
And I had done a bunch of characters like that recently, but I hadn't done like a wacky Captain Boomerang. In fact, I don't think I've ever written Captain Boomerang in a cartoon. So I'm like, can I have him? And they're like, yeah, put him in the Suicide Squad. Not too many lines. And the thing is, he's only got like a dozen or 15 lines, but they're real memorable, So I was happy to do that, and I kind of figured my way around the Etrigan rhyming problem. I enjoy Etrigan. Unless you're Alan Moore, you probably shouldn't do the rhyming Etrigan.
I saw you tweeting about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, I want him in here as Motrigan. and so I get both the best of both worlds. He's in there. He's a force in the fights, but also he's funny without, he's not funny to the people in the story. He's funny to the audience. It's like Hudson in Aliens. He's not funny to the rest of his crew. He's melting down. But if you're in the theater watching it, it's hilarious.
Right.
So it's comedy of the situation, and it worked perfectly in the story.
Gotcha. No, that makes perfect sense. So I got a question here that's a little in the weeds. So again, it might just be a storyboard decision or something. But so in the film, when we first meet Damian Wayne after the 2-year difference, he's in his assassin's uniform. He's the head of the demon. But after Raven arrives, he's in his Robin uniform. Was that just a marketing decision? Was that a storyboard decision? Or is there like some deeper meaning to it? I have media studies classes, so I feel the need to ask these things.
No, that's fine. But you know what? I think that's a storyboard decision.
No worries.
I did not, change the uniform. Either that or James told me to do it in a note. Like I'll put in a draft and you'll get hundreds of notes that tweak little themes, right? And if you're lucky, they're all like, have him mention Hal Jordan in this. Like they're very easy. It's not like, I don't think the tone of this is good at all. Oh no, that's a big one, right? But so I might have gotten that note that says, oh, have him be in the Robin costume after this scene. But I don't remember getting that note. It might have just been them going, I'm going to switch back to that because back into superhero world or whatever.
Not a worry.
Now it does make sense because, well, what would be more likely to get through to his father? The assassin's uniform or Robin uniform? So I think someone was thinking.
Yeah.
Someone was thinking like, what should he wear? And it's like, well, he's trying to convince his dad. So even in those scenes where it's like, that's confusing, there's some sort of underlying logic usually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
During the live tweeting, it was mentioned that there was an early draft of the story, which included the League grabbing Thomas Wayne from the Flashpoint universe to stop Batman. When did that go out? When did that go out the window, or why do you feel that maybe the showdown with Damian worked better for the story?
Well, I gotta fess up to that one. That was, I had to clear out some stuff to get in stuff that I wanted. So I'm like, this isn't really paying off for me. Now I talk with Jim Krieg, and then we have some meetings with James Tucker, who's the overall executive producer of these films in this continuity. So I would talk with Krieg, and I'd go, I don't know, does this make sense that we're pulling him from another dimension, and doesn't it give like an out to like, couldn't we escape our fate by hopping to Earth 26? Do you want to open this can of worms? And upon thinking about it, he said, no, the Earth is blasted. There's no one around that's doing that anymore. We got to fight or die. So that was one of the reasons. But I think in the beginning, the idea was, let's connect it more to Flashpoint.
Right.
Make them bookends,
Right.
They are still bookends.
Yeah, certainly. Speaking of bookends, with this film ending with a reality reset, going forward with more films, is there going to be something that heavily ties it to the end of this film, or when you start over, do the writers just want to start over? Do they not want to make it as?
It's not like the writers starting over. It's Jim Krieg and now it's Butch Lutzek, and then there's also Bruce Timm, who puts out his movies, but they're usually not in continuity. Wait, what was the question again?
Is with the start of new films after this, is there going to be something in the first film that comes out of a new continuity that directly links it to this one?
Gotcha. Let me see. Can I tell you that? I'm going to give you a frustrating answer. Yes, but not in the way you think.
Gotcha.
It would be cool to have like one little tether between the two, but otherwise they are like separate things. This thing's a whole brand new deal.
Right.
So, but I think people are going to be excited about the brand new deal. I only know my little corners of it, stuff that I've worked on. When other people are working on something, and it's not like we're all hanging out at Warner Brothers in the writers' room. That would be awesome, by the way. Like going, oh, are you working on the, like the Green Arrow one? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm working on the Metalman one. Yeah. No. It's like there's an assignment out there, and Jim knows everybody, so he's like, who's going to be good for this? Call them up, see if they are enthusiastic, and then get them going to outline. If you get past the first outline section, usually write the script. If you don't have the good story, maybe they bring in somebody else to do another take on the outline. You might not have that thing. But yeah, I wish we were all talking to each other. I mean, I just recently watched The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen. I didn't know any of that stuff. That's got to be James going, oh, I think like in Batman Hush, he's like throwing a line with Lex that says, I saved your asses from the cyborg Superman. And I didn't know what that meant. You know, like I don't think the movie was out at that point, but I didn't see it. So I just throw it in there. Right. And then, you know, like it's kind of funny where he goes and say that he's a member of the Justice League. And then I was like, well, you know, Batman, then he told me about what happened. I'm like, well, Batman would like kind of crap on that, on Lex, right? How about if he said probationary member and in fact grapples out of there? He's like, yes, do that, you know? So it's like that happens a lot during the building of this, that only James Tucker has and Jim Creek have the 20,000 foot view. And everybody else is just in there for their section of it, you know?
I do have one more question, though.
Sure.
Can we expect anything with Dr. Fate in the near future?
Throwing it out there.
I don't know. You know what? Okay, I can give you a little inside baseball on Dr. Fate. He comes up, especially he came up for Justice League Dark, the first one and this one. And the answer is always the same. And he's too powerful. You know, so it's like we got to do the story somehow where he's a little depowered, or the origin of Dr. Fate or something you have to do. It's like Spectre. It's like I wanted to get Spectre in, and it's like he's too powerful. You know, like he's kind of above this. But I think there are Dr. Fate fans out there. So although no, I don't. Even if I knew, but unfortunately I don't know anything that's in production with Dr. Fate. I think you're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have to settle for things on shows like Justice League Action. That was Jim Krieg also, and he managed to get in like almost everyone, right? I mean, like Clarion the Witch Boy was in it. I mean, we're going deep into the cookbook of heroes and villains, you know.
Oh, he showed up. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Detective Chimp is in it. Space Cabby's in it. Space Cabby is Patton Oswalt. It's like it's amazing.
And a whole Mark Hamill
You gotta
episode.
watch that. You gotta watch that. Yeah, I think Dr. Fate was really cool in that show. So you can get a little bit of a fix. You know, go on the internet and find out which episodes he's in. You don't have to watch all 52. There's no overreaching arc in that. It's just like episodes. Boom, boom, boom. You know?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Well, it's been great having you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Fun answering your questions. Yeah, keep fighting the fight. Keep writing. Keep making projects. It's always better to make something than not make it, because you'll always meet people, and when it goes up, it'll get a fan, and you might get a call. Okay?
Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much. All right.
All right.
Take
I'll
care.
see you later.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.